Brian suffered what's called a brain contusion. It's like a bruise in the brain, and it actually damages the tissue inside what we call the parenchyma of the brain. It results sometimes in diminished cognitive and emotional abilities, and it's rather unpredictable. Then, as a result of the unpredictable behaviors from the contusion, he was put on medication to contain them that made him numb and changed his personality. Cheryl says he was somebody I didn't even recognize. He was standoffish, hateful, angry, and selfish. Cheryl joins us tonight. Cheryl, you were just 24 when this first happened. Tell us what happened when you got that call that Brian was home but injured.
Brian actually got injured overseas in Iraq. He had lower extremity injuries as well as a brain injury, and later we found out PTSD. I found out through his commander called me personally, and they life-flighted him to Walter Reed.
Now, there was some event, I guess, when you left the hospital together for the first time to get some food. Can you tell me about that experience?
Yes, the first time we left the hospital, we decided to go down the road about 10 miles and grab a bite to eat. It was our first experience out of the hospital with a wheelchair. And that experience was very traumatic for him and also for me, because he was scared of everything in the road, the manholes, the bags of trash, different things. He just kept thinking were IEDs and bombs, and they were going to go off and hurt him. And then once we arrived at our destination, we tried to get up the hill in his wheelchair, and it was very challenging terrain to get up in. And we started to go into the restaurant, and the wheelchair handicap button didn't work. So the cashier came to help us, and he had a turban on his head, and he was from the Middle East. And I saw the panic in his face when he saw that man, as he related him, to an Iraqi, to someone that hurt him. And it was a very stressful time and event for us, and I never ever thought that just riding in a car would be so traumatic for him and being out in social places.
So let me try to put this together for the viewers, which is that this is both post-traumatic stress disorder, which we're going to talk about even more detail a little later in the show tonight, and traumatic brain injury. And what so many of the people who are serving in Iraq and working on the medical side of things say is that we don't let people die anymore. They come back with tremendous injuries, often head injuries, and that's really what you were dealing with. And so it's almost like you have, Cheryl, a different person coming home, don't you? You have to sort of relearn one another, recreate a relationship together, and in your case, rethink what your life together was even really all about.
Correct. That's exactly right. I mean, I became his caregiver, sort of like his mother instead of his spouse.
And you've actually reached out and created a blog, and the situation, of course, is very isolating, but you've reached a point where you've actually created a little community where other women can reach out to you. Is that correct?
Yeah, I work for Operation Homefront's Wounded Warrior Wives program, and through the program I'm able to reach out to other wives that are going through the same things that I have gone through, and maybe are newer in the process of recovering and dealing with PTSD, and through that we're able to help each other, and they're able to go on retreats and get on forums and talk together, and that's really healing, and it kind of eliminates the isolation.
We were actually able to cull together some calls. We have a phone call of someone you had reached, I guess, through your blog. Let's see. The blog is called blogspot.com. And we have a woman who wanted to thank you for helping. Her name is Serena Bowen. Serena, she joins us now by phone. You wanted to say something to Cheryl?
Cheryl, hello.
Hey, girl.
I just wanted to tell you what an amazing person you are and what an amazing opportunity your blog did for me. I know you know that. Those lonely, lonesome nights at Walter Reed, I was able to reach out to your blog and be able to use you as a support system for me while Michael was going through what he was going through.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's great to hear your voice.
Do I have time? Thank you, Serena. I want to ask my controller, do I have time to do a quick Facebook question, or are we running out of time here? Somebody give me the next Facebook question, please. Okay, this is Cheryl. What has changed about you as a whole through going through this experience? My understanding, you yourself have had a burnout and even had a secondary PTSD and even become suicidal yourself. Is that right? We have 30 seconds.
Yes, it's definitely isolating and lonesome, and definitely I thought about just eliminating myself out of the situation because it was too stressful. I got burnt out, and I realized I had to start helping myself and get counseling for myself and help by volunteering and just reaching out to others so that I wouldn't feel so alone, and that I knew I could do it some more and do it for